this man right here, I don't know if y'all know this man, Mr. Darrell Brooks, whatever his name is, Brooks. Whew, let's pull up some information on Mr. Darrell Brooks because this man here was out of order. All right. Let's see where we at. Let's find some information on Mr. Darrell. So, girl, all right, let's see if we can do this one here. All right. I don't know if y'all heard about this or not, but they're saying that first of all, there was a Christmas parade that took a place like last year sometime, right? Out there in, they say it's Waukesha, I believe that's right. Waukesha, Milwaukee, or I mean Waukesha, Wisconsin, or something like that. But girl, it's Waukesha for me. I know y'all saying it's Waukesha. It's not. It's Waukesha, Wisconsin. And there was a Christmas parade, and this was the man that actually drove his car, his SUV, through this Christmas parade, y'all. And he ended up killing like 6 people and injuring a ton of other people. So now he had to have his trial, which came up, and it's been happening since the top of October. Okay. And with this trial happening at the top of October, he decided that he was going to represent himself. He didn't even get an attorney. He represented himself. Girl, it looked like 2 different people up here on this photo. He represented himself. And girl, when I tell you he gave the judge so many problems, I mean so many problems. Girl, he was in there going off like he's crazy. But anyway, just know that he has now been found guilty. Okay, they're saying that Darrell Brooks found guilty of homicide. Okay, in Waukesha Christmas parade attack. All right. A jury came back and found Darrell Brooks guilty in these 6 counts. All right. The verdict reached on Wednesday comes less than a year after Brooks plowed through police barricades and drove his red SUV along the local holiday parade route. Okay. In November of 2021, unaliving 6 people and injuring dozens of those people. And this man is 40 years old, y'all. So because I cannot show y'all the full, because it's so many hours and hours and hours and hours of this man in court, I do have a short clip to show you his top wildest moments in the courtroom. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm about to put this up on the screen for y'all. I want y'all to go ahead and check this man out, honey.
Once again, you're doing this tactic
because
let me start that over.
Once again, you're doing this tactic
because it's not a tactic. It's facts. It's facts.
To some other reason.
It's facts. Because I find it hard to believe that all of a sudden nobody hears what I say.
I'm going to let the state make a record of why they believe it's objectionable because I haven't let them do that.
We go over the top 5 outbursts of defendant Darrell Brooks in the Waukesha Parade tragedy trial. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. The trial of Darrell Brooks Jr. out of Waukesha, Wisconsin has really been something else. On one hand, we can't forget what this trial is about. You have a defendant who's been charged with over 70 crimes for allegedly driving his SUV into a group of holiday parade goers back on November 21st, 2021, ultimately resulting in the death of 6 people and injuries to...
At K&G, you and your crew...
Sorry, guys. Let the ads play, child. Give me 1 second while we let they little ads play, and then we'll get back. We'll get back into it, okay? All right. Okay.
Very serious case and a very tragic case. But at the same time, we can't forget that this trial is incredibly unique and strange because the defendant has chosen at the very beginning of trial to represent himself. And it has been a roller coaster ride of fights between him and the judge, him getting kicked out of court. He took his shirt off at one point, and he brings up these legal theories that seemingly have no basis in fact or law that delay the whole proceedings. And this is partially due to the fact that we believe Brooks identifies as a sovereign citizen. This is someone who believes that they're not under the jurisdiction or authority of the government. So we thought, why not revisit the top 5 outbursts of Darrell Brooks during this trial? And I'd like to start with a particularly bad one. You see, at one point, Brooks called as a witness his ex-girlfriend, Erica Patterson, as he was presenting his case. Now, she had previously testified for the state, and it's alleged that he, Darrell Brooks, got into a fight with Erica Patterson and attacked her right before he drove his car into the parade. So when she was on the stand, he wanted to show that she wasn't a good mother and that she's not a credible witness and that she wasn't telling the truth, particularly about the last time that she had had contact with him. And that's when, while she's on the stand, he pulls out these photographs, and the state objected because they hadn't been shown these before. And outside the presence of the jury, prosecutor Zach Witchow talked about what would happen if these photos were allowed in, and he revealed something very bad about Brooks' past. And as you'll see, Brooks was not too happy about it.
3, I believe that these photographs are designed to make a suggestion to the jury that Erica Patterson is a bad mom. I think that is what the defendant is trying to do. And if we're going to go down that road, then we would be forced to counter that claim. First of all, it doesn't make her an incredible witness, if it's even true. And second of all, if we go down that road, we would be forced to counter that claim by pointing out that not only does the defendant not live with the child in question, he doesn't live with any of the other children that he has. He impregnated Erica Patterson when she was a minor in Nevada. And for doing so, he was convicted of statutory sexual seduction, pled guilty in March of 2007 to that felony offense, and is a sex offender on the registry as a result. So if there's any causation that would lead to Erica Patterson being a bad mom, Mr. Brooks has a direct role in that causation.
And that's
Furthermore,
I'll object to that.
I'm not
because
done.
That's a lie.
Let him
Because at the end of the day,
Let
if
him
we
finish,
don't open the door
Mr.
on that, no,
Brooks.
since he want to make a record and not be accurate, so let's be accurate all on the record since you think you know so much.
Once
So
again,
we can
Mr.
open the
Brooks
door
is
on.
being
We can open the
loud,
door on how old she told me
disrespectful,
she was when we met.
interrupting.
We can ask
He's-
that
he
question
is
too. Then
over the
did you
top,
ask that?
animated
Did you
right
know
now.
that?
Mr. Brooks, I'm ordering you to sit down and to let the state
No,
finish.
no, I'm not going to sit here and let somebody be inaccurate on the record and lie on the
All
record.
right. Under Illinois versus Allen, I've warned him repeatedly. He's being removed from the courtroom. And you know what? Let me dial that back. We're just going to take an early lunch, 1 hour. We'll be back. And unless he brings that letter and he can show it is inadmissible, he will not be questioned. And under 906.11, I will declare the cross-examination closed. Thank you. We're in recess, 1 hour.
Get your facts straight. So let's open the door on all of it then, so we can get all of it on the record. Since you think you know so much, did you know she said she was 18 when I met her? Did you know that?
Now, luckily, as I said, this was outside the presence of the jury, and that is a very good thing for Brooks that they didn't see that. Clearly, he's trying to relitigate his past relationship that he had with Patterson and whether or not he should have been convicted of that sex crime. And of course, this is just another example of him being removed from the courtroom. You know, look, Brooks has repeatedly made statements that this process is totally unfair, that he's not being heard, and he adamantly denies that he's trying to deliberately obstruct the proceedings. He feels that he's just trying to get his word out and his rights protected. In fact, in another major outburst and show of disrespect to the court and the procedure, he yells at the judge about what this trial is about.
I don't care what you believe fully.
All right.
It's not a game. I don't take
I
this
asked-
as a game. That's what
Let me explain
nobody.
this to you
That's what
once
nobody.
again.
You don't got to explain nothing to me.
Do you want?
That's what you don't understand. You
you
think that
want
this
the
is a whole
opportunity
game
to
to me.
question?
This is not a game to me, Your Honor. Nothing about this is a joke.
I never
That's
said
what
it
y'all
was a
don't
joke.
understand.
But there's
And it's
some things in this
unfair.
ship
It's
that's going on.
unfair and it's disrespectful to me that you think I would come in here purposely and treat this like a joke or a game.
I never said it was a
What
joke.
type of statement is that?
Mr.
Your life is not on the line. Mine is. And you think that I think this is funny?
I don't think it's funny whatsoever.
So,
And I
so I
understand.
think, Your Honor, with all due respect, I think you
So
should show
we're
some
gonna take
respect.
a 5-minute break, and when we come back, the jury's coming out, and you need to call your next witness. Thank you. We are in
No,
recess.
you're not rushing me to judgment. I don't care what you're talking about.
Unbelievable that he's saying this to a judge I sometimes have to remind myself who he's speaking to. And, there is so much discussion about Judge Darrow here showing this restraint. Why didn't she kick him out of the courtroom sooner? Why didn't she kick him out multiple times? And I think there's one theory that at least I believe is that she is giving him so much leeway, so much opportunity to reel himself in. And she's deliberately making sure that she doesn't prematurely silence him or kick him out of the courtroom too quickly. Because the theory is that if he's convicted, an appellate court then can't say that she was unfair to him, right? The only person who buried his case was Darrell Brooks himself, that she wasn't being unfair or violating his rights, that she gave him every opportunity to correct his behavior. And some believe that this is a sign that he shouldn't be allowed to represent himself anymore, but that's his right. And while there could be opportunities for judges to step in and say that the defendant is not competent and an attorney should be assigned at this point, this judge is not at that point. She believes that he is doing all of this deliberately to delay these proceedings, and he knew what he was getting himself into when he decided to represent himself. And I think at the very least, it seems that Mr. Brooks has issues with authority, because if you listen to what he said to Judge Darrow multiple times, this one in particular was really egregious.
I'm a grown man with grown kids. Ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that. Nobody. I don't have a problem with doing what you asked me to do, not tell me. Just like when I asked you about subject matter jurisdiction that you have yet to prove on the record. But somehow I'm being intentionally disruptive. Come on, man. Stop. Just stop it.
Jury's coming out.
All rise for the jury.
Not gonna work.
And that is not the only time.
How much more in my face proof do I need?
You don't need
time that he barked at the judge and told her what her job should be.
If you don't make a record,
So
then
what?
I can't make a ruling.
It threw people off the loop. They weren't ready for it. They scared of it. That's what it is. Come on, man.
Mr. Brooks.
Come on, man. Stop.
When you
Stop
aren't
Stop
even
it.
letting
You're a
me
public
ask the
servant, Your Honor.
questions.
I respect your courtroom. I
You
respect you. You're a public servant, though. Your job is to be the referee. Is it or is it not? You stated so yourself on record that your job is being the umpire.
Your Honor, can I ask Ms. Patterson please be excused?
Yes, you can be excused. My apologies.
My apologies too, but it needs to be some truth. Especially when we're talking about stuff that didn't even happen, but they're allowed to get on the stand and say that it happened when they know it didn't happen.
So I'm going to make a record about what
This
he's
is
referring
ridiculous,
to
man.
in count 77.
Truth be told, I could do a 2-hour show on all of the disruptions and the hostile moments in court. But I have to tell you, after reviewing it, there is one moment in particular, one time when I was actually nervous for the safety of the people in the courtroom, and including the judge. And this came about when the prosecution started presenting an issue and how the prosecutor, Sue Opper, said the word defendant. Take a look.
There's an issue that we do need to take up potential as to a witness by the name of Abel Lescano. He has prior criminal history.
Thank you.
So as long as the jury's out, we should probably discuss that. I would like to provide the defendant and the court with a copy.
So that had
of
to be
the-
said. So it's the defendant.
That's not how it was said.
That was how I
completely
said. You want to run the
disagree.
record back?
Mr. Brooks,
So I'm the only one. I got one. I
Mr.
got one
Brooks.
ear that work, and I heard that.
this
Come on,
is to
Come on,
benefit
man.
you so
No,
that
it's
you
not.
understand
Ain't none of this
your
to benefit me.
witness
So let's
has
be
a
clear about
prior
that.
record.
Your Honor, when I leave the table, I'm away from the courtroom and I have to elevate my voice. This is the
So she had to
alleged
elevate her
record
voice
of Abel
just for
Lescano.
that.
Stop talking.
Come on, man. Like, I don't know who y'all be thinking y'all fooling. I accept the value in return for value this document.
One more interruption and you're going to be removed to the next courtroom.
That's what you want to do anyway.
It's not what I want to do. Do not interrupt Attorney Opper.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell,
I
can you
believe he
explain-
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI second from 1997, and OWI third from 1997, and OWI fourth from 2003, criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared.
So,
All right, y'all. So y'all heard that this man crazy girl. He crazy girl. He crazy. Like he was showing out. Shout out to the judge. I don't know if she's getting her due just her praises with how she handled him. She had so much patience even when she was frustrated with this man. Like she like and y'all this ain't even it. Like it's hours and hours and hours of stuff. Okay, over there on Law and Crime, I think that's their YouTube page, but it's hours of content. Like he went on a rant for 50 minutes straight. 50 minutes straight. He girl, it was so he she had to remove him from the room more than one time. Girl, he took his shirt off and everything in the other room, turned his back to her, would not act like he wasn't hearing she had to say, putting papers in over his head, covering his face, gonna put a damn trifold poster, I believe it was, in front of him and get mad when she tell him he gotta move it or whatever. Like the man, whoa, he was definitely trying to get maybe a mistrial or something like that. I know he probably gonna try and get an appeal on this particular situation, but the DA on the other side kind of mentioned that he was offered on more than one occasion to go and get an attorney and he chose not to. He has access to all of the information that he needs to represent himself accordingly, so I don't even know if they'll give him an appeal or award him an appeal on this case only for him to do this all over again. Like I don't know, but he had access to everything to make sure he handles this case accordingly. He came in there with his file folder for all of the witnesses, had information on everybody, cross-examined them. He was really trying to make it seem like or that it wasn't him, like he did not do the crime that they're saying he did, because he kept asking people like, did you see who did you what did you see when it happened? Did you see who was in the car? You know what I'm saying? You ain't see who was in the car. Okay, then basically trying to say that they probably didn't see him. So just some weirdo stuff. Like, girl, he had just got into a fight with his baby mama before he even went out there and drove into that crowd and did whatever. Like the man has mental issues. He does. He does. And the way that he sat up there and talked to that judge, man, she was so careful with him. And the bailiffs, they look like they was careful too. They look like they about wanted to yank that man up. Like just crazy. I wouldn't have been able to sit in that courtroom because I would have definitely been cackling a little bit because I'm like, it's sad, but it's funny at the same time. Like, are you serious? Like, is this really happening? Just gave full disrespect in the courtroom, girl. Just a whole mess. A whole mess. Okay. So there's that. I just wanted to come to you guys with a quick chat, let y'all hear what's going on out here in these streets. Okay. I thank you guys so much for joining. If you have yet to hit the like button, go ahead and do so. If you have yet to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I would highly appreciate that. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all that other great stuff. And I'm going to hop off this thing, but I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.